All right, welcome to our 4th of July special. We have some amazing hosts. We have Jimmy Cherry here, who probably wrote you all tickets for your illegal fireworks. We have Mike Green, who was lighting a firework and he blew off his arm. And we have Wesley. He was lighting fireworks. His legs just blew off.
I think the same firework Mike lit off to blow off his arm blew off Wesley's legs.
No, that's
been a
not,
big
that's not what that
I thought you guys were veterans.
Yeah. We are.
Big
Veterans
fireworks.
from the east side, illegal fireworks.
Illegal fireworks. And then we have Pastor Tom Touchstone and Mike Harvey here. And we really wanted to bring out something special for you guys because we know independence and freedom is a big deal to us. And it's almost like every day it's a challenge. So the more we celebrate it, the more we can keep. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I think kind of our questions reflect that too.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to talk to the panel today. We're going to talk to some veterans, some people that have been involved with lots of different 4th of Julys in different aspects, and part of some of them have actually helped create what we have as 4th of July and our freedom.
Right. And I was just kidding about the blow up thing. It wasn't with fireworks. And maybe they'll tell you a little bit about it later today. But I think we can start off with the first question. And if you have a 4th of July celebration and maybe you just want to make it a little more intent, pay attention to these answers.
Yeah.
And we'll start off with Pastor Tom.
Ooh.
Are you ready, Tom?
I
You're
think
always
so.
ready.
I'm always ready.
He's always ready.
What does 4th of July mean to you?
You know, it's something differently for the last couple of years than it was for the previous decade. One of the things that I've always been involved with is I've been involved with nonprofit. And we've been, my wife had a fireworks booth, I think pretty much a decade. And my family would go out and we would work the fireworks booth to actually generate funds to allow kids to attend a private school, allow kids to go to camp. I mean, was always looking for something. And I know with privates, it's one of those things where, you know, people can look at it, but as you're out there and you're talking to people, you're actually able to communicate kind of a message. They're always going, what are you guys out here doing? So it was fun to take 4th of July and give it a different perspective from, hey, we're using the fireworks today and the revenue that we generate to bless people. And I think that was one of the things we did. So what my family would do is we would usually celebrate 4th of July the next day. And I don't know if 5th of July, Jimmy, is legal or not.
I don't think so.
It's not legal.
Nope. Yeah.
Until
only in New
12:30 in the
Mexico.
morning. 12:30 in the morning on July 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're legal till then.
And that was my whole idea was we would go and we would celebrate, and I think we broke the law, but we would do something for my kids because they always worked the 4th of July booth with us. So that's what it meant for us. So we would have our 4th of July on July 5th, but we'd also be able to bless other people through the hard work that my family and some of our friends would put in to bless a nonprofit that blessed other people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, Wesley. Tell them about the fireworks. No, I'm just kidding.
So it was an M80. Liberty. I'm very appreciative, grateful for this country. I wasn't born here, so when I came here, I got to see what liberty meant, what it meant to have that, and it's just one of those things that you don't really get to see it, and I kind of lost the track of it for a long time, and until I went to Iraq and got to see what they had, and I came back home and I was very appreciative of what we actually had here. So I get to see that, and that's what it means to me. I get to enjoy with my family. I have the ability to choose and do the things and pursue the things that God has made me for. So that's what it means for me.
That's good.
Awesome.
Top that, Mike.
Yeah. So 4th of July for me, I think a lot of people that were in the military can attest to this. I think anything involving the flag or the Star Spangled Banner, something like that, when you've served, it has a different meaning, right? Yeah. It just has a whole different just meaning behind it. But I think more so for me, I've just adapted it as family time, especially having a boy now, and I have some other my family living with me now too, some nieces and nephews, and it's a family time to me. Hanging out by the pool, barbecuing, and enjoying the day. We usually do like a big thing, and we have a bunch of people over, and I'll barbecue, and it'll be real busy. But I told my wife this year, I was like, we got a bigger household this year. It's like, I think I just want to do something a little smaller. cook some tri-tip, some chicken, and just hang out, light some fireworks, and get to watch my little boy, run around with some sparklers or whatnot, and just have a good time with it.
Can I ask a question, Mike, real quick?
Yeah.
I hope that's legal. No. So
We'll allow it.
So, Mike, as you and Wesley are here, you've made a greater sacrifice for our freedom than some of us that are sitting here. Watching your young son, and Wesley too, watching your kids, does it make yourself look back at some of the things that you saw happen, the sacrifices you made? Like, yeah, I don't know if I could compare it to anything, but do you look at your sons, do you look at your family and go, yeah, I'm glad I did that?
Yeah, I think specifically, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. So the tattoo on my arm here is the Alive Day. It's the date I got injured. Some veterans choose to not celebrate that day. They look at it as the worst day of their lives, whereas others celebrate it as like a day I stayed alive. So I was talking about surfing on my Alive Day a while back, and I had my board, and it felt like something out of a movie. Wetsuit halfway down, and I'm terrible at surfing, by the way. I'm not at all good, but
I was in the story.
I got beat up by the waves all day. I was actually sitting binge watching like Breaking Bad or something. I thought, what am I doing here? This is my Alive Day. I'm sitting here just binge watching. I need to get out and do something that makes me feel alive. And I think oftentimes I think of that with my boy. I think it's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind of just being a dad or a husband or whatever, that you forget to just enjoy what's right in front of you, especially with young ones. My boy is 2.5 years old, and it's probably one of the best times that I'll have in his life, where he actually wants to be around me, and all that stuff. So I look at that and just I take it in, and it's really easy to get sidetracked from that and not enjoy and be appreciative of what you have right in front of you.
Yeah, for me as well, when I look at things, I look at the network of people that have surrounded my life, and since I lost my legs, how the community of Bakers and Kern County has welcomed me, and they have just been so open arms with me and loving on me, that is something that my family gets to see, and it's a fruit that they get to enjoy as well. We live in a home that our community built for us. We get to swim in a pool that our community built for us, and it's just something that I just look at it like, yeah, thank you.
I was down at the Wounded Warriors offices the other day, and I saw your foot. Yeah, Wendy has it there on display.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the original one.
Well, that was one of the. I took that one on a hike with the Wounded Heroes Fund at their office. So I took that one for it was like a 5-6 day hike through Joshua Tree, and we were doing about 10 miles a day. It was pretty rough. And by the end of that whole trip, that foot was just falling apart. It was just destroyed, And I was like, "Here you go. This is your present."
And you got another one on.
Oh yeah.
I like
That's
that.
good.
We're talking, and I don't think we heard from Jimmy on this part, but what does the 4th of July mean to you?
For me, it does mean a celebration of our country's freedom.
Yeah.
Because you had a bunch of God-fearing men who actually fled a country, because they didn't want to be, ruled by tyrannical rulers, and so we get to celebrate our country's freedom. But being a fireman, it brings on a different connotation, because I work every 4th of July.
Right.
Yes.
And for the first 12 years I was with the fire department, I actually put on the 4th of July fireworks show up at Bakersfield College.
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't me. That was a bunch of people in the community.
Team.
Yeah, it was a team effort, 100%. Churches involved, businesses involved. So that was after the show ended. I transitioned to just working every 4th of July, and I enjoy working. But now I'm in charge of the fireworks enforcement, and so
He's the guy.
yeah, I am the guy. I'm the guy. So when we have our veterans that are lighting off these illegal fireworks, blowing themselves
Me, man.
apart,
Keep
yeah,
pointing at
and
me.
that was just and I know they're really not, but people don't realize the danger in the illegal fireworks. For instance, last year we ran 15 structure fires on the 4th of July.
goodness.
So we actually completely abandoned illegal fireworks citations because we were so busy. We were actually I would pull up on scene and I'd be the only unit, and hey, I need a structure response, and I've got
So-
one engine coming from halfway across the city.
What was causing all
the
those
illegal
fires?
fireworks.
Wow.
The fireworks
Yeah,
were
so
causing
any-
construction
anything-
Flying fireworks.
Yeah, flying fireworks. Anything that leaves the ground is illegal, and you
Uh-huh.
should not be lighting it off. And people just don't realize the danger in it. Now, I'm all for, lighting fireworks off and having fun. I'm all for the shows that we used to put on because they were fantastic. And nothing against your wife and the Safe and Sanes that everybody goes and buys, but you're not gonna have a better show than the ones that you can go and you can see it and you're like, whoa, and you're just like, man, these are fantastic.
Well, my neighbors probably always thought I was a lunatic because up until like we sold our house, we had a wood shake roof. And every year at 4th of July, I would put sprinklers up there and just run them 24 hours and just be like, I'm not catching my house on fire.
Yeah, and that's what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
every single year, and last year was the worst that I've ever seen.
I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea, but we just
No,
did
it was actually a good idea because I've actually been with the city for 28 years now, and last year was the worst that I've ever seen.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just because of illegal fireworks. So if anything goes in the air, that's my perspective. Anything goes in the air, and then you also got to look at, and that's why when he said, oh yeah, he blew his hand off, and it's like, which we know that didn't happen,
But it does happen.
but it does happen.
Yeah.
We actually had 2 people that actually lost limbs last year because they thought it would be cool, and you get a little drinking going on, and you've got a little liquid courage, and hey, this sounds like a really good idea. How could this accident have been avoided? Oh, let me think. And they would like hold them and like shoot them off of their body, or they'd go to throw a big mortar, and they're in a tube for a reason. So when they go to throw a mortar and it actually explodes in their hand,
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're-
It's a
crazy.
monster blow up. And like the biggest fireworks show, I was just thinking back to the beginning of COVID. I remember it was illegal to light any fireworks, and it was the biggest fireworks show on the east side of Bakersfield ever. I think everybody in my neighborhood lit those illegal fireworks, and I was like, well, so much for it being illegal this year. But it was, it's real. Like, they're all over the place. I think even some of the street racers in my neighborhood, they launch illegal fireworks to let each other know where to do the donuts.
Jeez.
They set them down and they shoot them up in the air, and then right after that, they all rally together, and then they just start doing donuts in that spot. It's
So
pretty crazy.
you're combining 2 illegal activities.
Oh, yeah. Not me, guys.
Throw some drinking in there.
I'm
and you
just
got,
sitting at home.
All right, so for this next question, I'm gonna pick on Mike Green for a minute. So what's your favorite part of 4th of July?
Definitely food and hanging by the pool. It's funny. I always say, everybody's favorite holiday is usually Christmas or Thanksgiving, and I love both of those. But I think I love 4th of July because it's hanging outside. The weather is usually, pool weather is nice for Bakersfield. But
Right.
yeah, that's what I love about it. And then
It's not nice when you're out of the pool.
yeah,
just
exactly.
when you're in the pool.
Or if you're wet
Yeah.
still. But I think even more so now having a family, that really makes it special, and getting to be the one. I thought about the other day about just I do most of the cooking at home. My wife's like the sous chef, cutting everything up. But sometimes it gets old, cooking and doing that stuff. But I thought it's an honor and it's a pleasure. It sounds, maybe kind of corny, whatever. But I get to serve my family, And the Bible,
awesome.
Jesus talks about being a servant. And I heard a podcast or something I was listening to, and I kind of put that hat
Lunch
on
break. It was the
when
lunch
I'm in
break
that
one.
probably right. when I'm in that just kind of I'm doing everything. It's not I'm here working, I'm laboring, whatever. I'm loving on my family. That's probably my favorite part for sure. Just hanging with the family and doing the barbecue thing.
That's cool.
he did tone this down for the panel though.
Oh,
Because he told me before this, he's like, oh, that's right, Jimmy, you're a fireman. It's like, dude, illegal fireworks are the greatest.
yeah, we never have those ever.
No.
No, I told him actually. I'm cheap, so I don't want to pay the fine. Even years back, I'll just let my neighbors do them, and I'll enjoy theirs and let them get the ticket.
I'm actually cheaper than that. I don't even want to pay for them at all.
Yeah.
See, I always wonder why Mike's calling it. Mike's calling. He's like, hey, come to this location. He's giving me a pin drop.
They're lighting them, man.
It's my house.
Or your
somebody
neighborhood.
Right. Okay, so Wesley, what's your favorite part?
I have to agree with Mike. That's to me the time with the family. But I think most specifically when it's time for the fireworks and I get to show my kids a little bit of danger, like introduce them to the fire
yeah.
and they get to run for their lives away from the fire,
The sparkler.
So you're trying to get in a fight with Jimmy right now.
But they're doing the little stuff, they're it's nothing dangerous. But they feel like it's danger, and get to play with them those things, like, hey, it's safe. there's safe ways to do this.
Yeah.
You don't have to be scared, and just showing them that, you know. And I think that's my favorite part, because at the beginning they're so scared, they're all timid. By the end of that, they're all pros, like
Running through 'em.
Yeah, jumping over them. It's yeah. So I enjoy that a lot.
That's cool.
Especially
I'm
the
gonna
little
go,
ones.
I'm gonna go to Jimmy next. and
Yeah,
come
I don't
you
get to
talk.
ask?
No, we'll come to you last. on
But
this
why
question.
last?
I don't know. I'm
Well, I
mixing
got
it
something to say.
All right.
up. All right, fine.
Go,
for
Tom.
it.
Go, Tom. You're giving
Tom's gotta
us.
talk.
You're giving us the Google eyes of let me talk.
It's kind of interesting because we all know Tessa. She's one of our creative consultants here. When she was little, she was terrified of fireworks. And so part of my evening, and my wife knew that I would go in and take care of Tessa. And it was probably a cool thing. I mean, it wasn't like people like, oh, I'm sorry you have to go in now. I go, that wasn't the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
I got to go in, comfort her, and then I remember getting her and helping her build up her courage to look out the window. It was terrifying for her. It was something that I did, and I remember people would think it was not a good thing. I thought it was great for me. I got to bond with my daughter, and I remember the first time she came outside, and she wanted to light one, and it was just kind of like it was such a big victory for her, and I just thought that that was something she overcame, and we got to do it together. So it was kind of a neat thing. It was kind of a when I talk about it, it's kind of like a backwards thing, but it was something when it was time to light up the fireworks. Tessa would go inside, and I'd go inside with her. So it was kind of a father-daughter
that's
thing.
cute.
It was and it was neat to see her overcome that.
Yeah.
And then years later, I said, Tessa, you remember when you were afraid of fireworks? She goes, I don't remember that.
Nope.
Kids don't, but I do. It was a great time in our life when she was afraid. We didn't know why she was afraid, but she was. So. Just want to add that.
Jimmy,
What's
Sir.
favorite part?
Favorite part? July 5th.
It's over.
Oh man.
And it truly is, just because it's like, okay, another one's done and in the books. Because,
Relief.
Yeah, and it truly is, just because of a lot of people don't understand. I mean, it's if you read on those illegal fireworks, the ones that actually leave the ground, it says improvised explosive. I mean, it is a explosive, and people are playing with them, and they have no idea what they're doing. That's why they have professionals that do that.
Well, I think, Jimmy, it's not just a one-night thing for you guys. Kind of talk to them about what you've been doing this week.
Well,
Going up to 4th of July.
yeah, so leading up to the 4th, we're trying to come up with new, innovative ideas, ways to actually get illegal fireworks off the street. And so what we're doing is we're actually setting up operations to where we actually do sting operations. And hopefully this is going to be after.
This will be after.
Yeah, this will be after the 4th or closely there around it. But we're actually trying to get the fireworks off, so we're being proactive instead of reactive. And then
You just had a big sting, didn't you?
Yeah, we just had a big sting. We just confiscated a lot. I won't actually say it right now, but it was a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't, like I said, I don't know when this is going to air. That's why.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would tell you guys.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But when you confiscate it, you kind of see it as you're saving somebody's, leg, arm, hand,
Yes.
is it
property,
house?
yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So as part of that, do they get fined as well
Absolutely.
for just possessing?
Correct.
Possession.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's actually over 100 pounds. It's a felony.
Okay. So what's the difference?
Gotta buy
between-
less than 100.
Sorry, this is just for Jimmy. But what's the difference between the professional fireworks shows, like they would do at a country club or something like that, versus like the guys in their backyard?
Well, the guy. So anything that anybody can buy at any of the fireworks stands, it'll have a state fire marshal seal on it. So that means it's illegal to buy. But the professionals, they actually have their pyrotechnic companies. They actually they're licensed. They know what they're doing, and that's why like at Bakersfield College, like I said, we put on the show. The fire department put on a show for 55 years, and it was red, white, and boom, and we had a great time doing it.
You did a great job.
And the community loved it. It was fantastic, but it just, they say all good things come to an end, so this had to come to an end.
They don't do it anymore?
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't do it anymore. But they have a bunch of different places that actually do them, like the Bakersfield Country Club, Stockdale Country Club. The city of Bakersfield actually puts one on out at Riverworks
Yeah,
Park. Riverwalk
Walk.
Park. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. Yeah. But they actually have companies that are actually trained to do that, and they come in.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the difference. Is they have training, and they actually can light the ones that actually go up into the air, and it's legal for them to do so. Anything that leaves the air for a normal Tom, Dick, or Harry, illegal.
Well, I don't know what Dick or Harry do, but I know what Tom does. I remember we used to do them at the church.
Yes.
We would go out and actually hire somebody to do it. We had a lot of fun at the church when the 4th of July would fall on a Wednesday or a Sunday. We would usually do it out at the church and have them come out and do that. So it was kind of a fun gig,
Yes.
just put on for the church.
And Pastor Ron has actually, he's actually asked me, Jimmy, how can we actually do fireworks inside the church? This is the kind of church we go to.
I like the way he's thinking.
But Jimmy, we did once.
Right
Yes.
over the congregation.
We did.
Bottle rockets.
We did once, and yeah. We had to have a lot of
Well,
special.
there is a way to do that. Nathaniel, Alex might know too.
Well, no, we do it. We actually had the fire chief, Ron Fraze,
Fire extinguishers.
who was there, and it was fun. We haven't done it since, and but it was fun and a lot of responsibility. I think that's what I could say, is you got to assume the responsibility. If you're out there and you are going to do illegals, you're going to probably have to assume the responsibilities.
Yeah, and it's not cheap either. I mean, it's $1,000 fine.
Oh,
And like I say,
goodness.
we're trying to come up with innovative ways during the 1st through the 5th. We'll actually have a fireworks enforcement teams out, and we actually have a drone team. We're collaborating with the Bakersfield Police Department, so we'll actually have drone teams out, because it's much easier to spot illegal fireworks when you can actually, when you have an unmanned aerial device up and about. So.
I'm not gonna say any more about illegal fireworks. Plead the 5th.
So what was the full name, Adrian?
And the address.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question. But this question is it's more about the holiday. It's Independence Day, right? And we've kind of come from this out of the world season of where freedoms were challenged. I mean, they went to the Supreme Court many times in the last 2 years. Some of us, I kind of felt like they took some of our freedoms. And I think this year, when we celebrate Independence Day, it's kind of like the restoration of freedom somehow for us, one of our freedoms, whatever that is. And I kind of want to hear you guys' perspective on what freedoms are you kind of feeling you're celebrating on that day. I know it costs us something to have freedom, but what freedoms are you really celebrating that day? We could start with Wesley. You got it. I seen you looking at me, Wesley.
Well, it's something that I thought about a lot, because a lot of people say thank you for your freedom or thank you for this, and it's something that always made me uncomfortable, and I know why. It's because it's not freedom. A soldier doesn't give you freedom. We do it for the liberty, the legality of it, and that's what you get from that. You get a legal right. You get the liberty. Freedom for me is divine, and you don't get that from any legal document. You get that from God, and so that's the difference for me. So I celebrate liberty. I celebrate the independence that we have to do those things, and that's what it means to me.
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
that's the difference in it.
That's awesome. See, I knew you were going to have something good like that.
Why didn't you just make him go laugh?
I say because
No pressure, guys.
following that, I honestly, even before coming on here, I don't really think of it as I know we gained our independence, and it's a, there's flags everywhere. Even the person on the block that never flies a flag for 4th of July. I guess I really never even thought about it like that. I just thought of it the barbecues and hanging out. So that was kind of my thing. But I think because of COVID recently, I think everybody can attest to that, of just kind of, just letting it get back to some normalcy and having a good time. That's kind of the way I look at it. I didn't have as eloquent of an answer as Wesley, but yeah.
Wesley. Yeah, he had that one sharpened up and
Right.
ready to go.
We're not going to make Tom good last this time.
Well, and I kind of listened to Wesley and Mike, and I don't know if I ever had an appreciation for it until I gave my life to Christ. And I really realized I did have a freedom, but I didn't realize the celebration of it until I realized that, and I love what we do here when we talk about family, faith, and freedom. I think our freedom is in Christ, and I think then it gives us a liberty to recognize what that has given us, because our country was established, and it was they did attribute a lot to God back in the independence days. And I think when I look back now, I recognize that's connected. I think they were connecting a freedom to practice the religion they wanted to. I think that's something that people get. Sometimes we may not know how different that is until you realize that there's some people that don't get the freedom to practice a religion. We know there's a lot of countries there's a lot of countries our church message goes into, and I don't talk about this a lot, but I had to talk to our lawyers one time because speaking a message of freedom in Christ is not a legal thing in some countries. So Pastor Ron and I had to check one time that hey, do we put a disclaimer there that this message could,
violate some
violate a law
Yeah, wow.
or jeopardize your health. When you think about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some countries that don't. So I like that. I like Wesley's answer. It made me realize that we do have a freedom to worship our God or any religion you want out there. And I think that's a huge deal. And it's one of the things that makes the United States of America different than a lot of countries in the world.
Yeah, and I think like Mahatma Gandhi, when he did his fasting and all that, they asked him, why do you think this works? And he said, because of the Christian morality of the world.
Yes.
He said, that is why this will work. He saw otherwise, it wouldn't work. But it's like that. Like, I think we take for granted how much our God-given freedom, like Wesley was talking about, it's not something that the government gives us, but it's something that God has given us divinely. Like, even if you're in jail, you can be free.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy, it's all you, man.
Hey, man, golly, I got to bring it home after all that. Well, I have to agree with Wesley and with Pastor Tom and Mike. I mean, it's if you stop and think about it, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking, if I'm supposed to be looking at you guys or at the camera.
Camera's right over there.
Very good. Because it's kind of, and so you guys, if you don't know them, actually they're over here. It's probably panning back and forth. But no, it's you had a bunch of men that decided to throw off the shackles of tyranny, and they said, hey, we're gonna live life free. And just like Wesley said, it's we were endowed by our Creator with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so if you look at it that way, it's like, man, it's like there's nothing nobody could follow yours. We're just kind of trying to slap some icing on the cake.
Well,
You
now
already
4th
made
of
it.
July
You already
means
made it.
something
and
else to me now. Thanks, Wesley.
Well, it actually means two things.
yeah.
It means no illegal fireworks.
Yes.
And it means thanks, Wesley.
yeah.
Final question I'm going to ask Jimmy. What have you witnessed, and what would you tell people to remain safe?
If it's an illegal firework, if it's you're gonna light it and it's gonna leave the ground, do not light it. Turn it in, take it to any fire station, give it away. Remain safe. That's the best thing you can do to remain safe on the 4th of July.
Because you'll wake up on the 5th glad that you did it.
Exactly, because you will wake up on the 5th saying, "What is this ticket, man? This is a $1,000 fine," and you guys don't want that. But and it's not the money aspect; it's actually the safety aspect, because it's people's property, and it's actually could and can actually be, because one year there was actually somebody and there was a fatality, and so. Wow. We actually want to keep people safe. We want to keep them. We want to keep their property safe, and we want to keep them safe.
And I think, Jimmy, you and I carry a love for firefighters. I'm a chaplain with the city fire department. That you keep the firefighters safe too.
Yes.
They're out there to serve, and if the less structured fires that they go to, there's a bigger likelihood that they're going to wake up on the 5th also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. Hopefully you got something from this and got blessed. But as we close, I just want to thank a few people here. Our producer, Alex Howe, executive producer, myself, associate producer, Pastor Tom Touchstone, supervising producer, Nathaniel Tweed, creative consultants, Tessa Taylor and Kyle Lawson, and MLH Solutions for production, distribution, and marketing. MLH or Lunch Break is a 511 Media Group production. Copyright MLH Solutions 2022.
And don't forget about Joanna Connell.
Yeah.
Wait a
over
minute,
there
Mike. You
helping
thanked
us.
yourself in there, so I want to thank myself for being here.
Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike
Jimmy,
Green.
Cherry,
Yeah.
Leslie,
Thank you guys
thank
for
all
coming
of you guys
on.
for being here. Thank all of you guys for watching. Have a blessed weekend.